Hi everyone. As you might have heard, the U.S. Department of Education is in the process of making sweeping changes to Title IX. In this short video, we wanted to explain to our Church and Ministry Alliance how these changes may affect you. Even if you're not a school, there may be some surprising implications. Here are some things you need to know. First, what is Title IX and why does it matter to you? Title IX is a federal law from 1972 that prohibits sex-based discrimination in education programs or activities that receive federal financial assistance. Historically, Title IX has not had much impact on private religious schools to the extent they don't accept federal funding or participate in federal grant programs. One important reminder is for schools that participate in the U.S. Department of Agriculture's child nutrition programs, such as the school lunch program or special milk program. Though those programs are typically administered by the state, they are federally funded, which triggers Title IX application. Alarmingly, recent attempts to expand the scope and coverage of Title IX are gaining ground. ADF is closely watching several lower court decisions that have concluded merely holding federal tax-exempt status under Section 501c3 equates to being a recipient of federal financial assistance for the purpose of applying Title IX. This dangerous type of reasoning could have expansive impact on not only religious schools, but also churches. If your church is tax-exempt and also runs a preschool program or hosts Vacation Bible School, this potentially could be viewed as an education program or activity subject to Title IX. Now, we're not quite there yet, so no need to panic, but we all need to watch and see what happens with the potentially expanded application of Title IX. In case you hadn't heard, the Title IX rules are changing. The department's proposed regulations will, among other things, redefine the term sex to include sexual orientation and gender identity. Once these regulations are finalized, the new rules will apply to all public and private schools, colleges, and universities that receive federal funding. These changes will, of course, affect things like use of preferred pronouns, use of private changing and restroom facilities, overnight school trip accommodations, and they could have vast implications in the world of male and female sports. So should you be worried? Yes and no. Thankfully, Title IX has a robust religious exemption embedded in the statute, and the new proposed rules do not seek to change that religious exemption, at least not for now. We are glad to see the Department of Education, even under the Biden administration, has been recognizing and applying the religious exemption. However, we want to encourage the department to continue on this path. Maintaining the religious exemption will become all the more important in light of the intended Title IX changes, which will surely result in an increase of complaints against schools on grounds of sexual harassment and discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. The religious exemption can function as a defense in a Title IX investigation or lawsuit, but the exemption only works to the extent the school can show it has sincerely held religious tenets that conflict with the application of Title IX in that instance. Other aspects of Title IX compliance that do not implicate or conflict with religious beliefs will continue to apply. So what can you do to assure your religious exemption will apply? We recommend two important action steps. First, if you haven't done so already, get your documents in order to ensure your religious tenets are clearly and completely articulated, especially on the topics of biblical marriage and sexuality, which collide head-on with the Title IX rule changes. Then, remember to be consistent in policy and in practice. Second, if you are a school that's currently subject to Title IX, consider the pros and cons of submitting a letter requesting that the U.S. Department of Education confirm your religious exemption status. While this step is not technically required, we encourage you to consider the merits of doing so as a proactive and preemptive measure. It can bring you peace of mind that should you encounter a Title IX investigation down the road, the department already recognizes, in writing, your status as an exempt religious organization. The downside here is that these documents will be public on the Department of Education website. We can help with these steps. Church and Ministry Alliance members can submit a legal request through the member site, shown on the screen, so we can discuss your unique situation and make sure you're in good shape. If you're not a member and you'd like to learn more about the program, you can visit our websites. Churches should visit adfchurchalliance.org, and ministries should visit adfministryalliance.org. The Department of Education is open for public comments on the Title IX rule changes, and we encourage you to participate. Here's how. Submitting a comment is easy. You can do so online and even anonymously. In the email that accompanies this video, we outlined a few tips on how and where to submit comments. Keep in mind, the department is required to read and respond to all public comments received, and it does so by bundling topics into categories. So, volume matters. The more time they hear, for example, about the importance of preserving the religious exemption, they have to take notice. Be sure to submit your comment by the deadline, which is September 12th. Thank you for watching, and let us know if you have any questions. It is a privilege to partner with you as we navigate this ever-changing legal landscape around us. Though the challenges may grow in size and complexity, our God remains greater.